Hi friends, this is Professor Vinod D'Souza, Associate Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, AG Institute of Engineering and Technology, Mangalore. In previous classes, we have discussed about the geosynthetics. In that, we have seen what are the types of geosynthetics, what are the properties, what are the applications of geosynthetics, and what are the various applications. So, in today's class, we will see what are the properties of these geosynthetics which are used in the fields. So, as we know, these geosynthetics are used for various applications. That is, they are used as a reinforcement, they can be used as a filter, they can be used as a drainage, separation layer, so etc. Okay, so the properties which has to be satisfied by geosynthetics depends on the function it has to fulfill. So these are the various functions like reinforcement, filter, drainage, separation. So now whatever geosynthetics we are using, the property should fulfill all these functions. For example, if the geosynthetics is used as a reinforcement member, then mechanical properties such as modulus of elasticity and strength has to be emphasized. Okay, so in order to behave the geosynthetic as a reinforcement barrier, its modulus of elasticity and strength, okay, these two properties we have to enhance. Similarly, if we are using the geosynthetic as an filter material, then the hydraulic properties like hydraulic conductivity, so the and filter requirements, so these has to be emphasized. The durability and resistance against mechanical wear and tear have to be guaranteed. So always when it is used inside the soil, then we have to see its durability. Okay, it has to last for a longer durations. Similarly, its resistance against mechanical wear and tear, because lot of forces will be there, and because of that it will undergo wear and tear, so it has to resist this wear and tear. So these properties we have to keep it in mind. So considering these aspects, these the properties are grouped as: first is material and fiber properties, second is geometrical aspects, mechanical properties, hydraulic properties, and durability or chemical properties. So all these properties are grouped under the following five subheads. First thing, material and fiber properties. So here, temperature and water content of materials of geosynthetics are the two aspects which affect the various properties of geosynthetics. One is temperature, one is water content. The fiber used in the manufacture of geosynthetics are built up from linear micromolecules whose properties are based on the bonding forces between the atoms. Further, the fiber properties also depend on the structure in which the macromolecules are arranged. So, as the basic materials are polymer, they behave like a viscous elastic material. So, in case of materials and fiber properties, you have to see up to what temperature the geosynthetics can be used inside the soil, and you have to check its resistance against temperatures. Sometimes the temperature will be extreme cold or extreme hot. So in all these conditions, the geosynthetic is able to bear the stresses. Similarly, we have to see what is the water content of the materials of geosynthetics, how much water it will absorb. So all these properties we have to check on. These are based on the molecular structure and polymers. Okay, we have to study this, and then only we can adopt them in the suitable applications. So next property which we have to consider is called as geometrical property. The choice of particular type and construction depends on the property required. Okay. So other aspects to be considered for the selection are field boundary conditions and method of execution, width and length, thickness, mass per unit area, and the available fabrication techniques all play a role in the definite choice of geosynthetics and constructions. So while discussing about the geometrical aspect, we have to see what are the field boundary conditions available for the geosynthetics. Okay, there should be a proper boundary, and inside the boundaries we can provide this geosynthetics. That's the one aspect. Then you have to see what is the method of execution, how these geosynthetics are laid, and how they are bonded, how they are stitched. Okay, all these aspects we have to consider. We have to see what is the width and length of the sheets available, so that we can reduce the number of joints. What is the thickness available, so that we can take care of this mechanical wear and tear of the sheets. What is the mass per unit area, and available fabrication techniques, because normally we have to stitch the two sheets together. Also we have to see that how we can finish the edges. So all these are the important geometrical aspects which we have to look for. In principle, the length of the geosynthetics is unlimited, but it's limited by the transport facilities involved and ease of handlings on the site. So we can manufacture any length and width of the sheets, but the problem is it is difficult to transfer from one place to another place, and if the length is too long or if the width is too long, it is difficult to spread them on the site. That's why the length and width are restricted to some standard sizes. If you see the sheets, depending on mass per unit area, the length will be varies from 60 to 200 meters. Okay, we are getting the sheets which are having the length of 60 meters and up to 200 meters. They'll come in a roll. Okay, so that we can unwind the rolls and we can lay on the sides. So if the length is longer, that is if we are using for the pavements, then we can go up to 100 meters length, so that we can avoid the joints. For woven and non-woven, the width will be around 5 to 5.5 meters. The width available is 5 to 5.5 meter, so that it can be successfully laid on the pavements. Also, if we are going to provide for canals, so that also we can use it. The thickness of geotextile is defined as the distance between the upper and lower surface of the material measured under a specified pressure. Okay, that is called as thickness of this geosynthetics or geotextiles. The thickness of most geotextiles lies between 0.2 to 10 mm. They are the thin sheets. Some sheets are having only the thickness of 0.2, and there are some sheets are having the larger thickness of around 10 millimeters. The thickness of geomembrane is of more importance than geotextiles for the following reasons. It ensures sufficient permeability to liquid and gases. Okay, when we have sufficient thickness, it will act as an impermeable barrier, so that it doesn't allow the liquids or gases to pass through them. Okay, these geomembrane sheets are used as an impermeable barrier. Okay, so that it doesn't allow the water, liquid or gases to flow pass through them. So in that case, the thickness should be slightly large. To ensure that the geomembrane can adequately resist mechanical forces, especially in the construction phase. So during construction phases, a lot of forces will be there, a lot of equipments or machineries run over the surface. So in order to bear the forces of these machineries, there should be sufficient thickness. If that is thickness is low, that is 0.2 or 0.3 millimeter, there are chances of puncture or tearing. To ensure reliable technique for welding the membrane sheets together. Okay, sometimes we need to join two sheets together, so sometimes it is required to weld. So at that time, thickness is an important property. To allow the possibility of embossing the geomembrane, whereby friction between membranes and ground on which it is applied will be increased. For all these purposes, thickness plays an important role in case of geosynthetics. Variation of thickness of geomembranes may have extreme effect on stress-strain relationship. The stress-strain relationship is going to vary with the thickness. Increase in thickness at spots in the membranes also lead to concentration of tensions. Increase in membrane thickness is not the concern of reinforced membranes. So, if it is used as a reinforcement membrane, then increasing thickness will not affect much. Only for barrier, then only we have to consider the thickness. So, normally the mass per unit area for non-woven and wovens are with a range of 100 to 1000 grams per meter square, and for wovens it is 100 to 2000 grams per meter square. This will be the mass per unit area. Lighter grades are coming in the range of 100 to 200 grams per meter area are most commonly used. Next is mechanical properties. In the general sense, mechanical properties are load deformation characteristics of the geosynthetics. Okay, how the member is going to deform under the application of load. So these properties are important with respect to mechanical properties, because we are applying them as a reinforcement barrier, and then as the force increases, tensile force increases, how they are going to deform. So that is the important property which we have to study. In turn, the mechanical property of geosynthetics depends on mechanical property of the fiber material, fiber structure, the yarn structure, and the structure of the geosynthetics. Normally this property depends upon the member property of fiber material, the fibers which are made up of different materials. So that property depends here. Fiber structure, how they are structured, how they are woven, okay, how they are interconnected. So all these things will come into picture now. The effective performance of geosynthetics in civil engineering applications in general and soil reinforcement in particular depends exclusively on the tensile stress and characteristics of the soil geosynthetics interface friction behavior. Okay? This is also one of the important property. So in addition to tensile stress which geosynthetics is subjected to loads and displacement, test has to be conducted in which load is applied perpendicular to the geosynthetics as occur in many practical cases. The relevant properties which we have to study are burst and puncture strength. Okay, we have to see that whether the geosynthetic is going to burst for sustained loadings or it's going to become puncture. A burst could occur due to gas or liquid pressure acting on a membrane. The interface friction, fatigue resistance, creep resistance, tear strength, abrasion resistance, and seam strength are the other important mechanical properties which we have to consider. So here these are chart shows what are the roles, function, properties and characteristics of the members. When we are discussing about the hydraulics, then the purpose will be either drain or filter, and in this case we have to see, okay, the properties which depends are thickness, permeability, clog resistance. So that's why we need to find what is the compressibility, porosity, transmissivity, permeability, filtration diameter. So all these properties we have to see. Similarly, when they are used as a mechanic, that is a separation and a reinforcement, then also clog resistance, mechanical resistance and roughness, okay, these properties we have to study. So here the characteristics which has to be observed are tension, piercing, flexures, friction. Okay, so these are the characteristics which we have to see. Coming to hydraulic properties, geosynthetics are used as filters in bank protection works, downstream culverts, and in bed protection works along the canals. So we can use these geosynthetics to protect the bank in case of canals or culverts, or protecting the bed in case of canals. So in these situations, the filter is laid directly on the subsoil and guarantee the soil tightness of the structure. Okay, it doesn't allow the water to flow through them, so that it guarantees the soil tightness below the geosynthetics. Further, to avoid unnecessary building up of excess pore water pressure under the protection of geosynthetics, must also be sufficiently water permeable. This is one of the important property. This should be water permeable. Water should not flow through these sheets. Geosynthetics used in road construction are installed in a substructure or a layer of separating the substructure from the subsoil. So in all these fields, geosynthetics must satisfy certain requirements of water permeability and soil tightness. So this property we have to test in the laboratory, that is the permeability and water tightness of the sheets. Thus, to satisfy the filtration and drainage requirements, geosynthetics need to fulfill the two conditions. One is, it should provide adequate hydraulic conductivity to allow the free flow of water out of the surrounding soil into the drain. Okay, that it should provide adequate water conductivity so that the water will flow freely through the surface. And second, it should prevent the particle movement from the parent soil into the drainage media. Okay, these two properties has to fulfill. One is it has to allow only the water, and second it has to block the soil particles. These conditions signify that the geosynthetics must have a required opening size as well as tight fabric structures. So required opening size to allow the water and tight fabric structure to prevent the flow of soil particles. The hydraulic properties of a geosynthetics are controlled by fabric opening characteristics, permeability and clogging resistance. So these are the three properties comes under hydraulic properties. One is fabric opening characteristics, how the fabrics are opened and the water is flowing through this. Permeability and clogging resistance. Okay, these are the three properties which we have to see. Fabric opening characteristics include apparent opening size distribution, percentage opening area and porosity. These properties comes under fabric opening characteristics. The ability of a fabric to conduct flow is dependent on the opening characteristics of the geosynthetics. So in order to assess the performance of geosynthetics accurately, these should be used in combination with measured permeability values. Okay, whatever the fabrics we are using, that should match with the permeability values of the soil. The apparent opening size, we are calling this as AOS, is a measure of the largest effective opening in your geosynthetics. Okay? The largest effective opening is called as AOS, and based on this the fabrics are manufactured. So in general, permeability of a geosynthetic must be substantially greater than that of the protected soil. Okay, we have to compare the permeability characteristics of geosynthetics as well as the soil, and the permeability characteristics of the geosynthetics should be large so that it will allow the water to flow easily without clogging. High fabric permeability also interfere the partial clogging will not reduce fabric permeability. Permeability and transmissivity are the two parameters which govern the hydraulic conductivity. So main two parameters are, one is permeability, one is transmissivity. So transmissivity means it's the volumetric flow rate per unit thickness under laminar flow conditions in the place direction of the fabric. Clogging is defined as the movement by mechanical action or hydraulic flow of soil particles into the voids of a fabric and retention therein. Under steady state, the reversing flow condition, fabric clogging or binding, causes a decrease in water flow rate and corresponding increase in hydraulic head loss through the geosynthetics. So coming to abrasion resistance, geosynthetics may be subjected to abrasion in many ways. Abrasion could occur as a result of friction produced by various types of movement of rock and soil against the surface of the fabric, such as wave action or riprap, sand, scar, sediment in a stream, or the aggregate cover in fabric reinforcement applications such as roadways and railways, and may also occur due to installations. To find out this abrasion, we have a test called as ultraviolet resistance test. In order to minimize the ultraviolet degradation, geosynthetics in most applications are embedded inside the soil. So that's why we are not directly exposing this geosynthetics to the sun. We are trying to embed them inside the soil. But certain applications we have to expose them. So in that case, we have to see that what is the ultraviolet resistance of this soil, and based on this we have to use them. So during the manufacturing process, additives such as carbon black or UV stabilizers are added to increase the ultraviolet resistance. So if you want to increase ultraviolet resistance, already the carbon black or UV stabilizers are added. However, geosynthetics may be exposed to sunlight in applications like reinforced soil, walls and erosion control, and during storage before installations. Thus, it is essential to evaluate the UV resistance of geosynthetics. So, for this also we are available the standard test, and based on these tests we have to find out what is the UV resistance of these sheets, and then only we have to use them in the particular applications. The last property we are going to discuss is the durability or life of the geosynthetics. Many of the synthetic polymers are sensitive to oxidation, and because of oxidation, the mechanical properties such as strength, elasticity, and strain absorption capacity deteriorates, and the geosynthetics ultimately becomes brittle and cracks. If it cracks or if it becomes brittle, then it doesn't serve the purpose for which it is used. Special additives are available to concentrate these processes. Okay? To counteract this process, some additives are available by using which we can repair this geosynthetics and can be made use once again. Polymers used in geotextiles and geomembranes differ considerably in their intrinsic resistance to oxidation. As a matter of fact, it is very difficult to predict the durability through direct testing. You cannot find the durabilities by using any tests. Tests are not available. However, it is possible to assess durability through index testing, which helps to provide a relative comparison of the products. Like abrasion resistance and UV test resistance are the two factors which affect the durability of the geosynthetics. By conducting these two tests, okay, we can find out the abrasion resistance of the geosynthetics. Also, we can find out the UV resistance of the geosynthetics. And based on these two factors, we can find out the durability of the sheets. So these are the discussions regarding the properties of the geosynthetics. Thank you.